What's good YouTube, and welcome to the house. If there's one thing I've learned as a Yu-Gi-Oh player, it's to never bet against Jeff Jones. And while Alter Reality Games does actually sponsor my streams, I'm not being paid or even suggested to talk about this. I just think it's actually a really amazing opportunity in certain aspects as an investment. So we go through the Kickstarter, and there's one tier that really does catch my eye, and not everybody's gonna have the kind of money for this, and you can go through the Kickstarter tiers yourself to see what you might want to do. At the $100 or more tiers, you start to get entire uncut sheets of these cards. Imagine if you could go back in time with Magic the Gathering and get a collectible like this. 20 years down the road, you might see really amazing results, because I know they did their first tournament. I want to say they had like 200 plus players at their first event for Argent Saga, and they had a $10,000 prize pool. That's quite the freaking turnout, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. With Jeff Jones as the co-creator and lead designer, it's an insane venture. And again, like I said, not a fan of the Kickstarter style, but they've already hit and smashed way past their goal, almost doubling it, and there's 3 days left to get in on this. So something to consider. Again, I'll link it down below. But moving on, we have Battles of Legend. I just want to note when talking about Battles of Legend, it's not out until Thursday and Friday, so like, a lot of things are happening hype right now that I'm about to show you with prices, and they may not reflect on the actual outfalling of the set. Some of you guys have gotten in and gotten good prices relative to what's happening, and there's still some decent prices on eBay versus this. But going through TCG Player, Boral Sword Dragon dipping, actually, you know, it started towards 30, down towards 25. I wonder why that is. Ah, yes. Tier 0 listed there is around that, and with my code What'sGood5, you can get 5% off, so it's a little cheaper than TCG Player. So it seems like some things were met to match, but for the first time ever, there was a spike because of a pre-saler. Tier 0 actually listed their all Mirages up above the market value of 8 to 9, and I think it was highly underestimated, and I still think it may end up similar to Gossip Shadow. But over on eBay, yes, my sponsors have it up here for 22. Over on eBay, it's towards $14, so it's still relatively cheaper on the general first market, and could even go down from there, but depending. But I still have this feeling this is the card for the set that will be impacting the meta, will be underestimated initially looking at these prices, and will go up over time. So it's really the first time pre-salers sold out because of Tier 0 over on TCG Player. It was the reverse of what usually happens. Lambda has spiked. Tier 0 sold out, and I guess upped their price and sold out again. And then people bumped their prices over here, or sold out and bumped out as well. I have no data from these guys. But looking through, it's still relatively cheaper on eBay. I could tell you to go click and use my link down below. No, it's cheaper on eBay. Always take care of yourselves first. Always get yourself the best deals. But again, you can wait 2 to 3 weeks for Fallout, and then TCG Player will probably be the cheapest of all three, but there's cards you'll miss out on early that just end up spiking. Like I told you guys, the original cards to the set will be the chase cards. Lambda already selling out multiple times speaks to that. Blackluster Soldier going up from its original price speaks to that. The original cards in the set that are more likely to impact the meta are what's selling like hotcakes early on. But you've got time. The set's not even out. You've got time to digest it, got time to kind of make your decisions. And a lot of this, you're probably not paying too much more for, even if it does spike. You'll have the initial 2 to 3 weeks of people ripping open these packs and being able to go for it. So that would be my true advice for this set, is kind of wait and see with how crazy things are going in the pre-sale market. It's never been like this for a set, but it is the off-season, and I guess, you know, the vendors have a lot of games to play, maybe, alongside with what's selling out. Sometimes us old vendors are a wealth of knowledge. I was looking through here with the Magnet Warrior memes going on from last Market Watch, and there was actually a Valkyria missing that I noticed. I scratched my head and said, there's another secret rare Valkyria on the Magna Warrior, and it comes from the European release of WC4. Now, WC4 in the US was completely different. I think it's like Fairy King Truesdale and Kinetic Soldier. Well, over in the European market, you actually got the Valkyria on the Magnet Warrior prismatic secret as well, and the English ones forever have been truly hard to find, and one of my friends didn't even know that this existed. The Magnet Warrior guy himself didn't know that this version existed. Another kind of wealth of knowledge thing is that there's actually a common Colossal Fighter among all the versions of Colossal Fighters, and there's only one version, like one for sale period, over on TCG Player, and then only one near mint on eBay as well. That's because these were misprints. They were not intended to be released, and if you actually played during the 5Ds era for a while, this was considered the highest rarity because of its misprint, when we only had the supers and the misprinted commons that didn't get their foil on them. But it was a common misprint, so we see that we have the ultimate rares here, you know, freshly bought out, now being the highest rarity. But when scrolling through here, it's actually one of the hardest versions to get, despite its price, is going to be the common. Let me see. I believe it ends up rare. Is it on the second page? Yeah, you have the battle pack rare. So going through, it seems like, you know, it's the last one listed, yet truly it's actually one of the hardest ones to get. So I just found that super interesting that it has this crazy low market price. People just forget things and let them go out of their mind, whereas it's actually the exact same set, 5DS1, the 2008 starter deck. It's the exact same, like, number, but it's hard to get. A lot of people ask me, get to the cards, John, where they could get this figure, and Ami has restocked very few. Usually they allow you to buy 3 per household, so I'm guessing that it's like people who either didn't fulfill their orders or a small overshipment, but they only are allowing people to buy 1 of these per household. It's $167, so after shipping you're probably paying near 200, 210. Well, on eBay the lowest are 300, so this seems like a really great alternative considering I can't find any linked stores to buy this. So Ami, look up the Blue Eyes. I'll link this down below too. But for those of you looking to get this, this is probably your last chance to get it at retail. And I showed it already on Twitter and in my community. I haven't shown it in my community tab. I showed the box. But I've shown it on Twitter. Amazing detail. Really cool. And again, last chance to get it, probably. I was looking through Dark Neostorm for cards that I would think about picking up since it's the most reprint safe set right now. And the World Chalice Justicar would be one. It has insane combos. Herman Hansen really put his, like, kind of note that, hey, this can be a meta card, and he's going to Worlds thanks to the power of it. And looking through the first page here, we actually have Signet Mining going up when we look through at 2772 here versus the 25 here. So cheaper on eBay again, but up on both platforms. So it's been sneaking up over time while the rest of the set has been slowly dipping. Then Gearsu at one of its lowest prices. Of course, Dogwood getting its reprint, so it's down there too. Avermax is another card I would consider picking up right now, even though it was overprinted in the set instead of shorter printed. I think it's still something you should pick up during the off season. It's something that a lot of people are going to find their ways into the deck. It will revolve into the metagame, I personally think. And with all these cards that are able to summon Cyberse cards from the extra deck popping up and out of the OCG, I think it would be smart just to at least have your copy of this while it is this cheap. It just makes sense. And, oh, by the way, finally, TCG Player won on something versus eBay during this market, which I wanted to point out. They have the cheaper IB, as well as this jumps to over 8 pretty quickly, while on TCG Player. That's why I was highlighting it. It's like one of the wins today. We've got $7 and then under $8 still, so good job, TCG Player. Get them. Now, looking through Spirit Warriors, I just wanted to see if it was falling out. Starfire's slowly going down. Caspar going down from that 21. It's not quickly going down, but I think people are going to be vying for those sales rates, so they're going to continue to undercut each other. Despite the hype of Magical Musketeer Max coming out this weekend, I just don't see this like taking over the meta and really stomping its way through. I never get tired of seeing Phantasme under 80. It's nice. I would like to see it fall even further, but nice to see 2 copies at $78.99. And then, do we have any other near mints under 80? It would be nice to see more than one seller. Yes, $79.99. $79.99. Do I hear it? Feels good. Man. Now looking through over on eBay, it is actually pretty much more expensive here too. So TCG player taking another one. I have no clue how far realistically this will drop during the off season, but it just feels good to look every single time and see it just you know, under $80. I like to see that for this card. And I finally wanted to go over some cards that I thought would be rather good to pick up right now sooner than later. B-Cop is running out of quantity slowly on the market. I think there's only like 30 some odd listings on TCG player, and while Dual Power Dupo had a ton of packs opened, you see over on eBay, it's already towards that $4 mark. And again, you have to get from other sellers to get that cheaper, but they're top-rated sellers. Won't be that hard to find cards from them. You'll want to probably pull this in whenever you order. But I think that Beat Cop is something almost every competitive player should have to go into. Why not just play Land for Linkus? Well, this has an effect so you can go into your Boral monsters. Next question. We also see Heraldic Seal. It's towards that $3 mark. It has over 81 results, though. Most people are playing one, and it's more specific to the Guard Dragon engine. Again, these are still amazing Link Frames pack imports locked behind a $30 MSRP. Even if unlimited printings of Dual Power come out, I think these are what's going to be driving up over time, similar to what we're seeing in pre-sales from Battles of Legend. And a Romage hype just happened, hence 46 results for this. This is selling out as well, and you can bet when the set comes closer to the TCG, it's going to get rehyped. You have no one to blame but yourself if you aren't looking at these cards and slowly getting them right now, rather than later to have access to. If you're hoping for reprints when they're already this cheap, shame. You should be paying attention to the decks you truly might want to play or think you might even have a chance to play in the future when things are this cheap. And again, if you are shopping for these cards, please use my TCG player link down below. When you click it and start shopping using it, it costs you nothing and it supports the channel directly. And if we start getting those numbers up, we got rookie numbers right now. If we start getting those numbers up, I'm going to start doing free giveaways with some of that money. I'm going to reinvest it back into you guys that are supporting me and helping me make a living. Thank you so much for watching today's Market Watch. Please like the video if you enjoyed the conversation and the kind of different looks around at maybe some unique things that you did or didn't know about, like the Colossal Fighter and the WC4 Valkyria. And what did you think of me highlighting those? Maybe your collector's itch is starting to not like me showing those, or did you know about them, you know? And what do you think about stuff like including the figures and the Kickstarter from Jeff Jones? I think it's important to kind of look at other aspects than just Yu-Gi-Oh! From time to time, but not really just shove it in the Market Watch all the time. I think it's something good to highlight when I'm genuinely interested and it raises my eyebrow. Again, thank you so much for watching, everybody.